What, do you hate homeless people, PETA? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about eco-terrorism.
Got too excited about jorts.
I am leaving now with my Roomba or your blood on my hands.
I'm back on my bullshit.
What is meme if not air horn persevering?
No, this is not a family show.
And I quote, many American titties.
Why'd you have to bring Dane Cook to this, Andrew? No one wanted that.
Oh, you guys are not ready for what I've got today.
And I've apparently hit the very end of my attention span.
Give me like 30 seconds. I'm looking for rhymes.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how Cult of the Lamb sounds like the title of a curriculum they'd use at the church camp I used to go to, and not a fun indie video game.
How close is Cult of the Lamb from Acquire the Fire?
Whoa! Oh man, Acquire the Fire unlocked a really deep memory in my brain. Yikes, I don't want to think about how much I played that CD.
Personal favorite of Debate This, Acquire the Fire.
Okay, anyway, as we enter quarter 4 of season 5, I decided it was time to reopen a can of worms we haven't touched in nearly 2 years. See, here at DT HQ, we have a lot of different departments. We've got the nerds in R&D, the JRPG division, the comics panel, the retro subcommittee, and even the anime cohort.
Ayo.
But there is one department here at DT HQ, which, while criminally underutilized, has produced some of the best content that we've published. Now, while some may say the DT HQ Bureau of IRL Sports is just a desk I put in the sports shed behind the office, I consider the DT HQ BOIRLS to be one of our most innovative branches. So, I've alerted the execs that the think tank is ready to break into the athletic world, and they communed with the old gods to develop a task for us today.
Excellent.
Thank you. I worked really hard on that one. What has been sent to me through an inter-office memo is as follows. It's been years since gamers have been able to feel what it's like to be a professional athlete doing mundane things only barely related to the sport of that professional athlete. Mm-hmm. While ShaqFu may have left some bad taste in the mouths of publishers, who could forget Michael Jordan and the chaos he faced in Windy City, or the cosmic cultural touchstone that was Bill Lambier's combat basketball?
Yes.
Well, the execs want us to recapture that magic, and they've asked us to decide which pro athlete should be the protagonist of their own non-sports game. This week, I've asked Kyle Springfield Isotopes Harper, Todd San Fierro 69ers Thomas, and Andrew Monroeville Zombies Henderson to strap on a set of loaner pads and bring the sweat from the locker rooms straight to the palms of the gamers. Unfortunately, I am the sports guy in this group of friends and thus needed to call in a ringer. So with the first and only draft pick of this sports podcast, I've selected Rudy Metropolis Generals Strong, better known as Deuces of the Geekset podcast. Deuces, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I'm excited to be here. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm super excited to be here. We literally went down this rabbit hole on our podcast like 2 episodes ago, right? We found out, because that's when we got introduced to one that we didn't know about, but it was called Scottie Pippen in Slam City.
What? Oh,
I remember that.
And what made this game different, this was during the Sega CD age. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a game. It was like a UPS, it was like a school, like middle school, like tutorial. Like it was like live action film. Like they filmed it. So it was like,
it was full motion video.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But this is what we also learned. We created this whole story about Michael Jordan because of this. So ShaqFu came out, right? And then Barkley Shut Up and Jam came out, right? And they came out within the same year. But Michael Jordan in Windy City, remember at that time, he wasn't in any NBA video games. It was number 99 on the Bulls. And it looked remember, like that? So we was like, where did this game come from? And we based off of the documentary, we was like, we know that Michael Jordan is petty. And we know how petty Charles Barkley and Shaq was with Michael Jordan, that I believe that Shaq and Charles Barkley was like, yeah, we got these video games coming out. And Jordan was like, well, y'all ain't better than me. And then it was like, wait, y'all got a video game? All right. Because if you look at the release, it goes Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam. And then NBA Live was coming out in that month, in the next month. And then the month after that, it was ShaqFu. But so randomly out of nowhere, NBA Live and Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City came out in the same month. And it was like, why would EA Sports put out two games like
basketball?
And I feel like Michael Jordan was like, called them up like, look, if y'all want to do any work with me, I need this video game, but I needed to come out before
Shaq's.
Shaq. Right. I need it before Shaq.
Basically, the 1994 space race. Now, Deuces, do you believe
space race joke? Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Do you believe that Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City walked so that Space Jam could run?
I can see that. I can see it. I take multiverses more so because if you think about it, in the game, the basketballs had powers, and in multiverses, LeBron James is throwing basketballs at you. I think it's more so that. But yeah, that was the most wildest game ever because even when you go back and look at the storyline, I believe this game was done. And then Michael Jordan came and they said, all right, we'll just make the character Jordan and we put it in Chicago.
It makes no
sense.
It happened all the time in that era, like last minute, like image
reskinnings
swaps like
and
because also in the game, it's him saving his teammates. That's all ego. That's like, oh, the world is going. Y'all need me.
You
Michael
need
Jordan.
Me. Something Michael Jordan absolutely would not do in real life.
I think my two favorites of that game is one, the fact that like half of the enemies are just like Vectrix versions of basketballs like fused together, and then the second is the MIDI sound clips of Michael Jordan saying it's showtime.
So I say all that to say I am excited to be here today.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So the secret is that I stole this episode from that episode of Geekset. I heard that and I was like, well, that is a really good idea. Somebody should do something about it. So speaking of Geekset, Deuces, why don't you tell the folks where it is that you are from?
All right. Well, I've come to realize that the best way for me to do it is to do my intro. So I'm gonna do my intro.
Please do.
All right. Welcome back to the Geekset Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is the place where blurs shine every day.
Dig it.
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
That rules.
Amazing.
That just made this podcast cooler than it's ever been since the very day that we started.
It's a low bar.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, welcome.
You guys want to talk about Vectrix some more?
No. I don't. What I want to talk about is this pitch. So obviously, it has to start with a protagonist. We need a main character who we can just brand the absolute shit out of. So, which athlete are you bringing to the table today? And just so I know you actually did your research, what team are they from, and why are they a notable choice here?
Yeah.
Also, why don't you go ahead and give us the title of your new game? Kyle, we'll start with you.
All right, Matt. So, Miles Gilbert Tim Horton had a dream, and that dream was to be one of the best hockey players to ever play the game. And he did it. He played for the Maple Leafs, the Rangers, the Penguins. He has been named one of the 100 greatest NHL players in history. He did it.
In this book report, I will.
Hey, I'm getting there. After he did that, he had a second dream. And that second dream was to open one of the world's most successful donut franchises in North America.
Wow.
And he did that too. Have you guys heard of Tim Hortons? Same guy. So, in Tim Hortons Donut Tycoon, you will play as Tim Horton, building your fast donut empire from the ground up. That's the game. Tim Hortons Donut Tycoon.
Okay.
Question.
I'm really interested to hear more. Go ahead, Todd.
Maybe I'll talk more about this later. Is this like other versions of Tycoon-esque games where I can make a donut launch off of its track into the ocean? Or can I...
That's in the DLC.
All right, I'll reserve my questions for later then.
So I do have to say, I was curious and I went to Wikipedia and I looked at the Wikipedia page for Tim Horton, and I have to say that the intro to your answer looks a little familiar, Kyle.
You mean Tim Horton, who was named one of the top 100 greatest NHL players in history, Tim Horton?
Yeah. I breezed through the hockey to get to the donuts, Matt. That's
Man, I've been playing hockey for 10 years, and so have I. Todd, go ahead.
So, Matt, the state of Ohio is known for many things. A record number of astronauts. People just can't wait to get out of this state, and they launch themselves into the atmosphere to do so. It's also known as just being a birthplace for some major innovation. And then, obviously, Ohio is known for other things, like Cleveland.
The thing of Cleveland?
Yeah, let's face it. Okay, Ohio is kind of a mixed bag. So that's why when we have something good, we need to take it, run it into the end zone, and put it on the highest pedestal until it does something problematic and we instantly write them off for it. So when you have an idol, a hometown hero, you treat them as such. Enter Joe Burrow, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, and all around like generally good guy. So Joe is the hometown hero of Southeast Ohio who just soared to the heights of Heisman winner all the way to a Super Bowl contender in just 2 years in the NFL. He is humble, he is driven, he works hard, and he is honestly in large part responsible for why Southeast Ohio Food Bank raised over $1 million. It was an incredible thing that swept the nation by... Yeah, the Plains is where the food bank is. They were not ready for it. That is why Joe Burrow is the ideal candidate to be a leading character on a questing game showing how he can only leave a wake of goodness in his trail. Everywhere he goes, the world is made infinitely better by the things he does in this long-spanning epic questing game. So I am thrilled today to bring you Joe Burrow and his breakout game titled Legendary Joe, Over the Rhine's Time to Shine. Because Over the Rhine is an area in Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's really good. I have a question, honest question.
I'm not taking
what do you
questions
define
yet?
as
Go ahead.
Great. What do you define as a questing game? I'm genuinely curious.
It is a questing game, that of which made famous by Lionhead Studios' Fable. So it will be an epic.
So an
sprawling-
RPG. Got it.
Some would say, hey, if I say RPG, Matt doesn't want to play it. So shut up.
That's true.
Matt doesn't like RPGs?
Okay,
Matt
we don't.
does not like
Deuces, we
RPGs.
can't get into it, man.
We don't
Yeah,
need to unpack this right now.
It's like if you open a door and there's two doors and one says RPG and one says Card Battler. It's Matt with the sweating red button meme is actually what it is.
Much like the bat that's 2 feet above Matt's head, we got to leave it alone.
Yeah, we can't poke that there.
All right.
Okay.
Todd, I have a question.
Yeah.
What role will Skyline Chili play in this game?
Kyle, there is going to be a Skyline Chili corporate partnership. It is not the biggest corporate partnership, but it will be a major corporate partnership.
No further questions.
All right. So we've got Joe Burrow's Do Good Stuff Simulator. Andrew, what have you brought to the table today?
Sure. I'll begin my pitch with the way that I begin 35% of my pitches here on Debate This. The year is 20XX.
Oh my god.
God, really? We're doing this again?
Democracy is dead. Our world has been taken over by an authoritarian regime hell-bent on maintaining absolute control. The changes came slowly at first. Many didn't realize, or maybe they didn't care and simply accepted them. They chose a comfortable life. Some, on the other hand, didn't. And those who refused to conform were pushed to the sidelines, criminalized. Those who were criminalized would need to band together and organize in order to survive. And so it went. World champion gymnast and 2016 Olympic quadruple gold medalist Simone Biles would be the one to rise up and lead the resistance.
Amazing.
Why not, right? Why not?
Go on.
Simone Biles is what's known throughout these parts as a beamer. One who lives in the shadows and delivers much-needed goods to the desperate people in between the watchful eye of the authoritarian police.
What? What?
High above the heavily patrolled streets, Simone watches her beloved city fall closer and closer to ruin every day from the silent rooftops. To some, she is a ghost, existing as a tall tale exchanged between strangers over hushed tones. But to others, she's a beacon of hope, a single shining light in a bleak world of absolute darkness. Coming next fall, Mirror's Edge Legends: A Double Twist of Fate, starring Simone Biles.
Double Twist of Fate is very good.
Double Twist of
It's
Fate
very
is
good.
Good job.
the thing.
Said a gymnast word.
So I'm doing a Mirror's Edge. We're doing a Mirror's Edge.
feel like I gotta have a trailer, and I don't have a trailer.
Oh, it's coming, baby.
Yeah.
Knowing Andrew, it's on its way.
Wow. Okay. So it was Sims, but donuts.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. But
Roller
donuts.
coaster. You're right. I'm sorry. Roller coaster.
And I love
Tycoon
Roller
with
Coaster
donuts.
Tycoon.
I also love donuts, so you know. We've got Joe Burrow's Do Good Stuff Simulator, and now we've got Red Dawn with Simone Biles. Deuces, what have
All right.
you brought? Please let it be something good.
All right. So I thought a lot about this, and one of the games that I generally love is open world video games. I love open world video games, but I thought about one of the things that I love about open world video games, the best ones, is the ones where you start from something and you have to build, whether it is like building your neighborhood or building your faction or whatever the case may be. So I thought about this and I said, man, all right, who is somebody that's a character that people just like, sports character that people know? And I thought about, at first I was thinking about Deion Sanders, but then I said, you know who's even who's even more crazier than Deion Sanders? J.R. Smith, because J.R. Smith, specifically on the New York Knicks, was known for partying and drinking Henny.
Oh, yeah.
So I came up with J.R. Smith's Henny Hoorah, because they always got to have an action word.
So good.
That's really good.
And the focus on the game is to be the richest, most flashy celebrity. So instead of just focusing on basketball, you got to hit red carpets, take endorsement deals, complete tasks, and think like Saints Row, because I went Saints Row specifically about how extreme it is, because you also got to put on your public persona. You got to get a haircut. You got to get custom jewelry made. So it's like a mixture of Saints Row and the Kim Kardashian game, because the Kim Kardashian game is similar to that.
Wow.
And yeah.
What a pull.
Wait, what's the Kim Kardashian game? Have I not? I don't
It's
know
like
this one.
it's like an iPhone fashion
Oh,
dress-up
okay.
game.
I got it. You can go on. That's
And all you do is you're this character, and your goal is to become as famous as Kim Kardashian. So I always said, how come there's never a guy version of that? Because we like to do stuff like, a guy version is us. Like, hey, I want to go to the party. I want to be VIP. I want to pop bottles.
I want to have a Henny Hoorah.
Right.
Oh my God.
Hoorah. So you got, because they always have like that action word. It's the hoorah.
It's like cheesy fiesta potatoes. Like,
yeah. So J.R. Smith's Henny Hoorah is my game that I am presenting to you guys.
Fuck. That's really
Holy
good.
shit, that's so good.
I just want to spend time talking about the J.R. Smith lore that I think exists that I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick tidbits of it.
Yeah.
That moment where you see like where J.R. Smith took the ball from LeBron and shot it instead of passing, and you see LeBron going like this. Well, notoriously, they were saying he was out. I mean, there's footage of him. He was out partying, drinking, and everything. So his decision making was impaired because he was still hungover from his Henny Hoorah the night before.
Good.
Funny.
Got it. Excellent. Oh, this is so good. This is everything I've wanted from an IRL sports podcast. All right. I can definitely see these athletes leading your projects, but I need to know what projects they're actually going to be leading.
Ooh.
Tell me about the gameplay of your game. What will your athlete be doing? Who else will be in the game? Give me all them sweet deets. Kyle.
All right. So, in Tim Horton's Donut Tycoon, it's mostly like a Sim City, where you start out with your first donut stand, and you've got to manage the faders. You got to manage like how fast you're making donuts, but that affects the quality. And then you got to like what quality ingredients you are, but that affects how much you take home at the end of the day, et cetera, et cetera. And you do that until you grow your donut stand until you are able to open your second donut stand. When you open your second donut stand, you launch into the mini game mode, where you play like an Overcooked type game to get your stand off the ground, where you like are meeting new customers, you're filling orders, you got to get the right number of Timbits in the box of each flavor and all that. Depending on how well you do at the Overcooked side of the game, establishes how well off this new stand is going to do. You do that and you do that until you unlock a store. And once you unlock a store, you can unlock franchises, and then regional franchises, and then national franchises, and over again until you finally build your worldwide Tim Hortons donut empire.
Question.
Yes.
Now, what part do you persuade and trick potential franchisees and taking them for all they're worth in the form of capital gains at the beginning, upfront costs?
Somewhere in between
Stage 4, stage 5?
Yeah, stage 4, stage 5. In between the regional and like nationwide expansion is when you turn into the shark and really start cutting people out.
Perfect.
What's that gameplay like? How do you do that in game? Is it like QuickTime events or something?
QTEs, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not QuickTime events. It's text based. So you pick the right answer
Sure,
out
it's
of a
conversation
list of options.
trees.
Conversation
Yeah,
trees,
okay.
exactly.
Right.
Thank you. Tim Horton is going to be our first. He's going to be our player character. All of your decisions will be made through the Tim Horton avatar. However, Ron Joyce, co-founder of Tim Hortons, is going to be our other main character. And he's going to be your like advice, your Navi, or your advice type character that just kind of gives you hints at the game, exposits what the expansions do, and all the new things you get as the empire grows. So those are going to be our two main characters.
The phrase Tim Horton as your Tim Horton avatar is no person has used their human mouth to put those words in that order before.
Until today.
Kyle
Tim Horton is an elder god and you are their avatar. Continue.
Kyle, is this a visual novel? Like, you've got your conversation tree text-based sections, and then you've got your mini games in between those sections. Is this a visual novel?
No, because it's more a franchise sim than a visual novel.
Got it.
There is a visual novel aspect to it, but it's a franchising sim.
Yeah, I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon, famously known for its text-based adventure portion of the game. So I think that this just follows that.
Well, I was going to flip it. It is kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's 5. And it would be really like Kyle to reference Five Nights at
Yes,
Freddy's.
me,
So.
Kyle, known Five Nights at Freddy's fan and appreciator. Yes.
When did Tim Horton get founded? Was that
1960.
wasn't it 83? Wasn't it 87? Wasn't one of those 2 years?
Wasn't one of the bite years. No.
He took a bite of a donut, which inspired him to start Tim Hortons in 1983.
To become an elder god so that he could have avatars here on Earth. I get it.
Okay.
I have a blank piece of paper or a blank Microsoft Word document that just says Tim Hortons dating simulator.
Okay. Wow. All right. So now that we have developed avatars of Elder God Tim Horton, Todd, what's going on with Joe Burrow's Do Good Stuff Simulator?
Yeah, so like I had kind of previously mentioned, we're making a game in the vein of Lionhead Studios series Fable, but this is going to be better. So something that starts with this like flashback of Joe Burrow's grandfather teaching his father how to play football, and then it kind of moves to his father coaching at the 2002 Rose Bowl, because that's a thing that he did that inspired his son to become part of the game. And then it's going to move to Joe watching his dad coach college ball, which ended up being their hometown there in Athens. And at that point, we then take over playing as Joe. And it's him in high school, and he's, much like any of these sprawling epics, it's these smaller issues first. So he's dealing with high school pressure. So Joe finds himself in those, typical high school situations where he can use his youthfulness and his desire to do good to help others in positive ways. Things the youths do. Like a teenager, he's helping elderly, folks across the brick streets of Athens, and that ultimately leads to you completing the tutorial by ultimately ending up in a football arena using your fighting and magic abilities in this football arena. Because, a reminder, this is set in a Fable-like engine and world, and we are keeping all of those aspects of the gameplay. So I will not be explaining that portion further. This will then later lead to acts where he has to develop relationships with the other NPCs, like his rival with the 2014 Ohio State starting quarterback, JT Barrett, and ultimately building relationships with the offensive line at Louisiana State University once he transfers there. And, as is important in games like this, the the defensive or the offensive line will only be able to help you towards your Heisman Trophy run if you do each of their individual side quests. college side quests, like helping them through complex collegiate relationship issues and studying college calculus. That's all fine and good, but the last chapter of this epic will end with you facing down an army of twisted kaiju monsters known as the Lost Angels Rams. And when the dust settles, you'll be setting up for future installations as Joe, our hero, and he's battered and he's beaten. He's sitting at a counter of his local skyline, and he rips off the calendar page that says "Countdown to next year." When he gets to, and he looks at the camera and he goes, "Finish the fight," which makes us all happy and sad at the same time. What I'm trying to say, Matt, is this is a
What's happening?
multi-generational, multi-state, multi-franchise sprawling epic that ends with Joe Burrow becoming the greatest football player and perhaps person, dare I say hero of all time. And that's what I'm bringing you today, Matt.
I have a question.
Is it about the kaijus known as the Lost Angels Rams? Because I'm really proud of that.
That's really where you lost
That's
me.
very good.
See, that's where he grabbed me.
That all tracks. Todd, could you just explain some of the magical feats that Joe Burrow can do in the football stadium?
I cannot
question.
explain the magical feats that Joe Burrow can do in the football stadium. I specifically said I would not be explaining said feats.
Yeah, I ignored that. I want to know. I want to know the magical feats.
Okay,
Todd.
well, here's the thing. It depends on what skill tree you take Joe up. So if you're going to have him be a primary caster, you're going to suffer because you won't be able to wear the heavier armor, but you will be more nimble on the field. So that's going to be important. It's about your play style, Kyle. So if you are now, are you like a caster? Are you more of like a dex fighter? Are you like a strength-based tank?
Let's say the tank option.
So you're gonna want to bulk. You're gonna want to bulk hard.
What
And
is
so-
happening? Are you guys just talking about
is absurd.
Yeah.
This
No.
is ridiculous.
You're gonna bulk, which is gonna be hard on a college campus cafeteria-based diet, but it is possible. So I think
Okay.
But if you bulk as a strength tank, you're not gonna be good with the magic-based combat. So you're gonna have to like give and take.
Okay, getting some early strats in. Good.
Also, you're gonna want to develop your companion dog so it can help you in battle. This is gonna
Stop
be
it.
important.
That's enough. We're done. Jesus Christ.
I really miss Fable, guys. I want to talk about Fable.
I was going to make a joke about how much time I would get to spend smoking cigars as Joe Burrow, but you talked too long and I don't want to make that joke anymore.
Fair.
You have, however, gotten me really excited for the third game in your series, Todd. Andrew, what have you brought, or what type of gameplay will you have in, Todd talked for, in the Simone Biles game? What are you
I
doing?
would love to tell you in a succinct way.
Please.
So the original Mirror's Edge is, most of us, I don't know if any of you have played Mirror's Edge. I've just watched the videos.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a parkour game. It's a first-person parkour game. It's all about running and jumping, going from rooftop to rooftop to get to point A to point B. Now that game is pretty linear. It's just like a series of rooftop levels, basically, where you're kind of like busting in and out of buildings and stuff. And like when you're always running, so you have to like kind of as a player like map out a path to the best path to lead to safety, to avoid like armed guards and other people like trying to get at you. So for this one, and Deuces, I wanted to say I wrote this before you introduced yours, so bear with me.
It's okay.
So Simone, along with her friends and former teammates, gold medalists Gabby Douglas, Laurie Hernandez, Madison Koshin, and Allie Raceman. These are the other four of the final five from 2016 U.S. Olympics gymnastics team. The five of them navigate the dark corners of the city in the shadows, delivering food, medicine, and other necessary goods to the oppressed people of the city. It's just capital T, capital C, the city.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. And all while they're sticking a big ol' digital middle finger to the man. Now, to do this, Simone and her team are going to utilize their championship gymnastic skills to parkour across the city skyline, whether that's incorporating, nimbly running across tricky scaffolding, or like dodging gunfire with a series of like flips and aerial twists, or occasionally delivering a swift kick in the face to any piece of shit fascist cop who gets in their way.
Fuck
Any
yeah,
of those
dude.
things. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, the biggest change between Mirror's Edge Legends ADTOF and the original is that we're going to do what all games in the last 4 years have done and rip off Breath of the Wild by making it an open world.
It's sick. I'm in.
Naturally.
Yep. So in addition to the linear missions that progress the story where, 75% of the game's animation budget goes, Simone is also going to be able to take these optional deliveries to allow her to grind money and fame, and also to help chip away the authoritarians' influence on certain regions of the city. So, you got to reclaim the neighborhoods, just like in any open world game these days. Now, by connecting the huddled masses of the city with proper nutrition, information, and sometimes arms, Simone and her team of beamers, I should explain beamers because that wasn't clear the first time I said it. In Mirror's Edge, the team that you're playing, or the woman that you play, her name is Faith. She's one of the runners, and I'm putting that in air quotes. Oh. So I was like, balance beam, they're beamers. Get it? Gymnastics.
We got there with you. Okay.
So they're going to slowly build influence and over time create a resistance among the population so huge that no single army could hope to contain them. My final thought here is mount, tuck, and pike your way to freedom when Mirror's Edge Legends: ADTOF releases later this year.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds really sick.
Yeah,
right.
Mirror's Edge is a very good game.
Yeah, it is. And shit, man, if there's one thing I wanted out of Breath of the Wild, it was for it to be more anti-cops. So you got me there.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. It's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, but punch a cop.
That's I'd quit playing Overwatch for that game. God damn.
That's a lot. That's saying something.
All right, Deuces, bring us home. Tell us about the J.R. Smith game.
The J.R. Smith Hitty Hoorah. All right, so the reason why
Such a good title.
Right. The reason why I did specifically say Saints Row is because Saints Row, out of all the games, it's known about the ridiculousness at how like crazy that they get. It's like GTA, but like on steroids, right? So of course they got to start with a cinematic opening, right? So you start off as this Z-list celebrity who just signed their first major, NBA deal, right? So it's like you're thinking that you're going to be big and you're going to this exclusive all celeb party. But then when you show up, that's when the story starts to unfold. You can't skip the line. You got to wait in line. So, you being a celebrity doesn't do anything about it. You don't get into VIP, so you got to get you a regular table. You got to be amongst the crowd. And nobody is really acknowledging you. So you see other celebrities and everything. And, of course, they start giving you, some subtle jabs. They start talking about you. And then that's what builds your vendetta. So then you become, I want to be the most famous, most celebrated celebrity it is, right? But so you go on this journey, and that's when you realize it's going to be a mixture of Max Payne, because it's like, in order for me to do this, there's power-ups. There's different power-ups, right? And because it's the Henny Hoorah, of course, the Hennessy is the top one, but you have a different one. So as you're going down this road, if you find these different power-ups. Beer, it restores your energy.
Natch.
Vodka, it gives you the power of hyper energy. So you're able to move a little bit faster, do a little bit more.
It sure does, Deuces. You're right.
Tequila, because it makes you want to dance and party, it gives you the power of evasion. Like, you're able to move a little bit more, right?
A little loosey-goosey, yeah.
Loosey-goosey. Whiskey gives you the power of defense. You feel like you can take on the brunt of everything and like that, But Hennessy, that gives you the power of power and destruction. But everything becomes a little bit more harder in the moment to do, right? And things like that, right? So you go through this life, and as you're going, you got to complete these tasks, but sometimes the tasks are going to have a little bit to it, right? Because it activates like the rage mode in Max Payne. And so you got to utilize a lot of these spirits, as they call them, to help you out through this process. But this is where, if you really want to challenge yourself, white Hennessy, it's like it's mythological. Like you can't get it. You got to travel to get white Hennessy. So the extreme hard mode is called white Henny mode, where you do everything under the influence of white Hennessy.
This is
incredible.
And madness.
All I can think of is if Rockstar made a Leisure Suit Larry game, and I want it so badly.
Because that's the thing. Like because you're a basketball player. Like even though basketball is the minimum of it, you're still gonna have to play some basketball games. But based off of which power up you have is going to be a little bit challenging, because every spirit has a negative side to it and everything like that. So you got to deal with that while you're going through that, but still trying to be the most popular celebrity. So it's like you can't really mess up, but you still gotta you got to be under the influence, because that's, when you see those celebrities, they're always under the influence of something. So it's like, yeah, you got to do this press. You have to show up on this red carpet and do an interview, but you're under the influence of whiskey. So you got to
It's like keeping your stamina bar full.
Yeah.
Mash beat a press junket.
Right. But like I said, white Henny mode makes it harder because like the world moves and everything. Like, so you're going through the whole thing while under the influence of white Hennessy. You're like, okay, like, but if you can get past it, you are truly the master of J.R. Smith's Henny Hoorah.
Hey,
Todd, are you also looking up white Hennessy?
I am right now.
Because I just did.
A bottle that I found of white Hennessy is $200.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's illegal in the U.S. apparently.
Yeah, you can't get it in the States. That's why it's the extreme hard mode, because like anytime that I've ever had white Hennessy, somebody traveled from like Jamaica and had to ship it in, but it's like, yeah, you can't buy it in the States.
You describing that like someone had to travel to get it makes me think that they like show up at your doorstep like they've just been out of battle and they pull it out of a satchel like Indiana Jones and unwrap it from leather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's like the step up of the moonshine you have to go to Kentucky to get.
Oh my gosh. Also there's white Hennessy Air Jordan 13s, and I'm just gonna put the image of that in our show notes.
Oh, good.
So
Yes,
that everyone can see
please
that.
and thank you.
Whoa.
I mean,
Wow.
I mean, those are pretty cool.
I've never so badly wanted something that I have no business in wearing.
I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so these games have shaped out to be honestly a lot more than I expected them to be, and I'm stoked about most of them. So obviously, we're going to have to get the people as stoked about them as I am, and we're going to heavily cross-promote your game at your athletes' IRL sporting events. Now, not all of your athletes are active currently, so
Yeah, Tim
I'm
Hortons
interested to anyway, you can still promote at different sports events. I want to hear how we can advertise your game with gimmicks or giveaways or whatever you've got to the average sports fan. Kyle, we'll start with you.
All right, Matt. So first things first, easiest tie-in promotion. It's going to be a sweepstakes held by every Tim Hortons franchise. You peel the sticker off your cup, you see what prize you won. 10,000 people win a copy of Tim Hortons Donut Tycoon. We're thinking giveaways at every hockey game in the NHL. Just free.
Just all of them? Just every NHL game.
Every NHL game for a whole season.
It's a lot of games, Kyle.
You can bring in the voucher from your copy of Tim Hortons Donut Tycoon, and you will get a free pack of Timbits and a hot coffee.
I love that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Donuts and coffee.
Do you get... Okay, so if I buy... What's the package deal? That's my question. What's the package deal? Do I buy Tim Hortons Donut Shop Simulator and get NHL tickets that come with Timbits and coffee, or do I buy NHL tickets that comes with Tim Hortons Donut Shop Simulator?
The latter. You buy the game, you get your
That's
NHL
what I was afraid
tickets.
of.
and you go to the game.
It's like when you bought a box of Chex and you got Chex Quest.
Yeah.
Chex Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in 2006 when I bought a copy of Ozzy Osbourne's Black Rain and got a pair of tickets to Ozfest.
Sure.
That was for nobody but me,
Wow.
but there you go.
Good for you.
Thanks. I didn't go.
Yeah, you buy the game, you send away for your free NHL tickets, and then when you redeem those tickets, you get coffee and donuts at the game.
That rips.
Yeah.
I would buy so many copies of that game. How much does the game cost?
I don't know, $70.
That's cheaper than... Okay, anyway, great idea.
I got
love
too
it.
real
Matt,
there, I
this
think.
isn't real.
Yeah.
Matt turned to a customer so fast.
Let me say,
sure
I
did.
did not think through the economics of what I just explained. I don't know how much NHL tickets cost.
This is a prime example of us playing to the moderator here.
All right. Well, Todd, what are you giving away to promote this Joe Burrow game?
Yeah, this one's easy.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, before you start,
Yeah.
Because I just read the show notes. And-
Yeah.
Ladies and
They got me
gentlemen,
in 10.
we got him.
okay, all right.
Well, I hope that the Deuces says it's those cognac Hennessy shoes for his answer, but for me, okay, so Joe Burrow, like I said, the Joe Burrow lore, aside from being known for his A-plus football skills, he's known for this positive attitude, his humbleness of his roots, and like I said, that incredible stint where he worked with indirectly the city of Athens to get them, or the Southeast Ohio Food Bank, get them $1 million worth of donations, which was incredible, following his Heisman Trophy speech. Additionally, Joe is also known for his almost mafia gangster style appearance as he strolls around in fur coats and cigars in his mouth. And like, there's a very clear image, and I'll put it in the show notes. As part of our promotion, what we'll be doing is we're going to actually strike a corporate deal with Burlington Coat Factory, where each Joe Burrow fur coat sold is one that's donated to the local Cincinnati area's population in need, because our goal here is to do good while also covering the city of Cincinnati in viral marketing. And by viral marketing, I mean dope full-length fur coats. I'm going to put the image in here. This is Joe Burrow and his dope fur coat. We are going to cover Cincinnati in those coats.
That is dope.
I love the tagline. We're covering the city of Cincinnati with fur coats.
Yeah. I love the idea of like helping solve Cincinnati's homeless problem by giving them all the most expensive coats we can possibly buy.
Oh my God.
Because it solves two problems. One,
Right.
well, it helps homeless people, but two, it makes a very luxury item completely plummet in worth, in value.
All of that and amazing branding. Just amazing.
Well, and I gotta say, it's really just the Tom's shoe model for Burlington Coat Factory is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's every coat bought is a coat donated.
Wow. And you know what's funny? This is the underlining situation that it'll do, because Peter's going to be mad, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to show up, but the rebuttal is like, "What? We're giving it to homeless people?
What do you hate
Like,
homeless people?
Yeah,
Peter?
yeah. We're helping displaced people with fur coats, and also marketing for Joe Burrow and whatever I named my gamer, Over the Rhine's Time to Shine. So,
wow. Interesting. That whole thing sounds like a WKRP bit.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that joke had to be for somebody. I was
gotcha.
scared.
Yeah. I've seen Nick at Night.
Andrew, go ahead. How are we going to promote the coolest game I've heard about in a minute?
Yeah. So Matt, this is a little bit of a heavy lift, but we're going to be partnering with the actual U.S. gymnastics team.
Go on.
Yeah. I'll say this. I thought I knew like popular gymnastics gyms corporations, but like I did a lot of Googling and couldn't find any. So I'm just saying associated like gymnastics gyms across the country. This is going to be a 2-tiered marketing strategy. So first, we're going to scout out your everyday gymnastics gym in, you know, local gyms, wherever the kids go to learn gymnastics in most major metropolitan areas. And we're going to offer, look, there's these gyms, there's a lot of parents in these gyms. There's a lot of parents that are just standing there watching their kids tumble around. Now, I love that the kids have this thing. It's a very special thing. I want them to have it. It's great that the parents can go and support their kids, but like, come on. Come on. So we're going to give the exhausted parents a little bit of a break. And we're going to give all of the parents that come to watch their kids practice a free Nintendo Switch with a demo of Mirror's Edge Legends: a Double Twist of Fate preloaded in, just to give them something to do. Give them something to do. They could be playing Mirror's Edge Legends and yay, good job, Amanda. So, I mean, again, like, you have a full day of work. You got to go to the gym practice for 3.5 hours. Give them a break. So, second tier to our marketing strategy is we're going to revamp the curriculum for all of these, you know, after-school gym programs. What I mean is we're going to help teach our young gymnasts in training that defying authority, much like our hero and 25-time world championship medalist Simone Biles, is as easy as a backflip here, a half twist there, and punching overbearing authority figures in the face. Now, if parents are going to entrust their children to spend hours and hours in these facilities, we got to make sure that they're learning the right lessons, like how to disarm and judo flip a fascist flat to the ground before they can see it coming. We're training Batmen.
A city's worth of Batmen.
Yeah, we're making gymnastics secret Krav Maga classes.
It's that one scene from Black Widow with the synchronized movements in the red room.
Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah.
like a bunch of 8-year-olds in leotards.
Yeah, but like for fun and for empowerment and, to
Yeah.
punch fascists in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I would want my children raised that way. How are we doing on budget giving away
Through
free
the
Switches?
Absolutely through the roof. We are hemorrhaging money. We did not, as the professionals say, stick the landing.
Fine. All right. You get away with that pun. All right. Moving on. Deuces, close us out here.
All right.
How are we going to get the people the Hennessy hoorah?
So we're going. So to Todd's delight, we are going to incorporate the Jordans.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because
Hell yeah.
just like in this culture, you love shoes. That's part of it. You got to have some fly kicks, right? But we're going to take a little bit of fun. We're going to get the beer goggles from Spencer's, right? And so we're going to be at actual basketball games, and we're going to have a multitude of obstacle courses, things that you have to do with the beer goggles on, but they're going to be the Henny goggles. And if you complete it, whoever completes it in the fastest time, they win you a pair of the white Hennessy 13 Jordans. And so that's going to be the prize as we go. We're going to do that from game to game to get people excited about it. Like, hey, you just completed this obstacle course. But this is where we're going to really get into it, right? This is where we're going to get the youth, because I was thinking about it. I was like, aggressive marketing, right? Who has more aggressive marketing practices than military recruits trying to get kids at school to go to enlist in the military?
It's almost as though it's unethically aggressive.
I remember vividly one point, that this is a little bit of tangent, but I remember ROTC was there and they had this young lady who was catching the eye of all the boys. And I remember one of my guys, his name was Nate. He was the ladies' man. He was like, I'm gonna go talk to her. And I told him specifically, I said, hey, make sure you don't sign anything, because my dad's in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So of course he goes up talking to her, and the next thing I see Nate signing something. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Oh no, I was just putting my name down. I'm not going to sign up." And then that girl, never seen her again.
No.
But the guy that was there was at the school every day picking Nate up, and then Nate end up signing up to the military. So we're gonna take.
Oh boy.
So we're gonna take that approach. We're gonna come there. Because they come with like the obstacle course. We're gonna come with the obstacle course, and we're gonna say, hey, we're not gonna get any of your kids drunk, but you're gonna put these glasses on and go through this obstacle course. And if you like it, you can play the game later on. And this is the game, and that's gonna be our two-handed marketing. We're gonna.
That's so good.
That's excellent. That's so good. It has the same energy as the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl from Semi-Pro, where everything is leading up to this last big giveaway where somebody finally drunkenly gets the Henny shoes.
Yeah.
I love it. Excellent. All right, so
Todd, did you put this picture of Macklemore in here?
I did.
That was Matt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Not far off, no.
Yeah, it's eerie how similar those two
No
dudes
one's
are.
ever seen
Yeah.
Joe Burrow and
Macklemore.
Jonathan Macklemore in the same place at once.
Like, I can't quantify how many times I've described someone as nondescript white guy, but Joe Burrow and Macklemore are dictionary definition white dudes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to go talk to the execs about what game we're doing, but they have one last question. See, your game, they think it's going to do so well that they don't just want people to play the game, they want to turn this whole franchise into a multimedia world, and they're already ready to sign movie contracts. So I need to know, when your game's story is adapted into a movie, what actor will you choose to play your athlete? It cannot be the athlete. It also cannot be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Just 4 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons
I will take your answers right after this.
in different wigs.
Like, everybody has the stereotypical on what a black geek is. Are you familiar with the term blurred?
Blood, no.
Right.
Some people said it came off of Scrubs. Some people said it came off the internet. I don't honestly really know.
Don't you see the skin, the eyebrows, the hair?
Yo, white geeks still rock, you know what I'm saying, Dunks or Jordans or whatever.
Did I do that?
It's exciting. It's like, holy, oh, my dog is gonna start barking.
It's all right.
She's excited about it too.
And same as you said, like the barbershop talk, like we would go into really in-depth conversations about these theories and like, well, what if and how come?
It's not unusual to be
Right. But we talk about anime, video games, comic books, and stuff like that. But when you hear us talk about it, the passion sounds like we arguing Jordan and Bron.
What do you mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Like, it sounds like barbershop talk.
Because you don't know the history, don't mean it ain't happened. Broke that down right there.
But when you see the black geek, you don't see that. You see the socially awkward glasses. Well, this is me. And that's not a lot of us. A lot of us do sound and talk like us. You know what I'm saying?
Because it becomes stereotypical, as if that's where our strength comes from.
I don't know that geek that you talked about before. I know the geek you're talking about right now, though.
It was sort of a call sign so we could find each other on message boards.
Anime gives you life lessons throughout that whole thing. Like, there's not one anime that I know of that doesn't teach you to never give up.
It's just like, I just love seeing us go into the world and go into these different spaces and create things that weren't there before. And then it was like Miles Morales is like the normal, black person in the United States.
That was my first blurred moment, was seeing, Storm on the X-Men cartoon series. And I was like, wow, that's a black woman and she's strong, she's powerful.
That's what I want for us. I want us to be that voice.
Welcome back. It is time to hear some answers to some super secret bonus questions. The execs are knocking at the door and they want to hear what actor is going to star in the movie adaptation of your game as the athlete in question. It cannot be the athlete. It also cannot be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We've booked him too many times this year. Kyle, what do you got?
All right, Matt. So, off the top of the bat, it's going to be a similar movie to the 2016 film The Founder. We're going to follow the career of Tim Horton after he has stopped playing hockey, leading up to the founding and creation of Tim Horton's donut chain. Tim Horton will be played by Sean William Scott. And that's it.
So good.
That's not it. I've got a title.
Wow.
It's called It's Time to Make the Donuts, starring Sean William Scott as Tim Horton.
Oh, God, that's really good.
What is this? I realize we've been here for an hour and I know what it is you just gave me, but I'm now pretending that if I just picked up a DVD titled "It's Time to Make the Donuts," starring whatever his face is, Sean William Scott, what is? I think I would audibly go, ugh.
I think you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. It's just that is the quintessential Walmart $2.99 DVD bin movie.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what we're going for.
Yeah,
it's on FX every Thursday in June.
Right.
All right. Wow. Cool. Todd, who do you have to play Joe Burrow?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to put it in the show notes so you can actually see why it's the right answer. So Joe Burrow is 6'4", which typically height wouldn't matter for a lot of things. It does for athletes, oddly enough. And so I searched for actors who are 6'4", and I wanted to go with that as the option. I started making some calls.
Tom Cruise.
The first hit is that comes up when you search actors who are 6'4" is Jeff Goldblum. He's not the one I went with, but I didn't realize he was that tall. But who we are going to go with is Bill Skarsgård. So we're going to go with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, damn. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Because they are the same. I have not seen Bill Skarsgård or Joe Burrow.
Or Macklemore or Joe Burrow.
or Jonathan Philip Macklemore in the same room. And I'm a little worried. And really the biggest reasons why we're going with Bill Skarsgård is because in this epic RPG of life that we are living, he has also chosen to specialize in the categories of gangliness and jaw structure, like Joe Burrow. And I think that those are the two things that are going to make him a prime candidate to be Joe Burrow.
All right.
Fun fact, Macklemore's real name is Benjamin Haggerty.
So I was close.
Oh, are we doxing Macklemore on this podcast now?
Macklemore fun facts.
It's on his Wikipedia page. I didn't.
Wait, give me his birthday, and I'll tell you where he's registered to vote.
Is Wikipedia doxing people now?
What are we?
June,
all right.
June 19th, 1983.
That's nothing.
Stop this. We're not doing this. Andrew, who's playing Simone Biles in the movie?
Well, I really liked her in Nope, so I'm casting Keke Palmer as Simone Biles.
Solid.
Yeah, she's great. And again, who doesn't want to watch her punch more cops? It's like,
I'm all in.
Make a great thing better? I don't know. And the title that I'm going to give this movie, just so it's different, is Mirror's Edge Legends: Pike Position.
Okay, there's a ton of really cool gymnast names of things.
Yeah. I was trying to make Yurchenko vault work. I'm still working on it. Come back to me.
Okay. There's podcast left. All right, Deuces. Who's going to go on a Hennessy hoorah in your movie?
So mine is going to be, it's going to be a little controversial, but what we're going to bring back, because it's the only person that I feel comfortable enough to do this, is we are bringing back Robert Downey Jr. playing.
All right.
Oh no! I thought about it more.
But wait, I'm gonna put it in the show notes because I even got how the movie cover is going to look. It's going to be Robert Downey Jr. redoing this picture, and it's going to be called just one word. No, it's going to be called Henny.
No. Oh.
Because it's got to be crazy. If the game is going to be off the wall, I got to go off the wall.
Oh my gosh.
And like I said, Robert Downey Jr., he did this once and it was A-okay. It was funny. It wasn't problematic. I trust him.
Our generation's next method actor, Robert Downey Jr.
Oh my gosh.
I trust him. I trust him in it.
All right.
Oh my God. Incredible.
I did not see it coming.
Nope.
This one.
No, I did not.
And to go back to your sense, think about you pick up a DVD called Henny and you see Robert Downey Jr. You're like, wait a minute, what is this?
Yep. There's a TikTok account of a guy that just has limitless copies of the movie Click, and I would do that with this movie. I would just buy all of them, and then all of my friends and family would get a copy every holiday.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we've gone on a journey together today. Why don't we go ahead and round out with some closing statements? So keep it brief. Keep it short. If you got like a tagline or a catchphrase or what's going on the back of the box, feel free to give it to us here. Kyle.
Look, everyone loves Timbits and coffee, and I think that's all I need to sell this game is the promise of more Timbits and coffee.
I also don't have a tagline because I just think that Joe Burrow deserves this game for all the good things he's done, and Ohio needs this win. Matt, Ohio needs this. Matt, have you seen Ohio lately? I mean,
unfortunately, I have.
Listen, Matt, we need this.
Yeah. Since we're talking about sports, I mean, that's the one thing I learned about Ohio fast. When LeBron left, the city
exploded.
And I was like, I said, I've never seen a position where a player leaves a city and the city goes to shambles because one person left. Like, wait.
Yeah.
The joke, our economy is built on LeBron James from that decade-old YouTube video is not
the hastily made Cleveland
tourism video.
Yep. Yeah. We'll link it in the show notes.
Detroit video. Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, we need this. So it'd be pretty cool.
If we get this.
Okay, also think of all the coats we can put in Cincinnati.
Okay, Andrew.
Now you, Matt Cole, can be just like Presidential Medal of Freedom Award recipient Simone Biles and punch a cop in the face.
Plan to the moderator.
It's great.
All right, Deuces, round us out.
All right, my tagline is simple. Life is hard, but with this game, anything is possible.
Oh.
Oh my god,
Do
that
we-
was so good.
Do we think? Okay, wait. Real talk.
There's steam coming from his Zoom picture.
Do we think that someone out there, an adult human, has tattooed on their body anything is possible?
Absolutely, 1000%.
For sure.
Yeah.
How much money would you be
Absolutely.
willing to bet that tattoo exists?
I got 5 on it. I'll bet 5.
Yeah, I think I would bet an amount of money I do not have on that. On that.
That combination of words being tattooed on someone's body.
Anything
Yes.
is possible.
Wow. All right. Let's just roll right on into goodbye. The bits I gotta execs and figure out a. Go ahead, Kyle.
Framing devices. This was so good. All of the games were good. Todd, I want to see Cincinnati covered in fur coats. Andrew, I want to punch a cop in the face as Simone Biles. And Deuces, anything is possible. I want to play this game. Just great job all around, guys. You all brought your A game today.
Yeah, Kyle, I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. It was like the first thing I did as a sad child on the computer, like just spending time there. And the thought that I can go from like a well-to-do hockey player to a bloodthirsty donut shop magnate.
Donut baron.
I know there's a couple chapters in between those two things, but I'm excited to get there. Andrew, Mirror's Edge is a rad game. I, too, want to see cops be punched in the face, and I would love to see anything else from Simone Biles. So those are all 3 great things for me. Hey, I just really want to get to talk about Deuces. Think Deuces. This one. I have so many tabs open. J.R. Smith's Wikipedia is a story, and
there's a whole page called controversy.
Right. And the fact that I know that white Hennessy is not legal, but I can find a price tag on it. Further, I can spend another $30 and they'll engrave the bottle for me. This has been a real treat, and I'm the thought that there is a J.R. Smith Max Payne game where Hennessy is treated like the Bradley Cooper Limitless drug. Yeah, all right, I guess.
I'm imagining the sequel where after the movie comes out, where like the right combination of drinks turns your avatar into Robert Downey Jr. for a brief amount of time too.
It got to be meta at that point.
Yes.
At that point, now you're bringing in all the problematic celebrities who had alcohol issues, and turning them into.
Oh man,
it's like a redemption video game.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a good one. Kyle, the Tim Hortons donut franchises. If I was gonna run a donut franchise, I don't know why, but it would 110% have to be a Tim Hortons. It feels right.
Yeah. You're not Bostonian enough to open a Dunkin', so it's got to be Tim
No, and I genuinely don't understand how that business model works. So I think Tim Hortons is the move. Absolutely. Todd, hey man, Rudy's a good movie. Like Rudy's great.
But
you made Rudy into an RPG.
But
and
like
that's
there's
cool.
fur coats and cigars.
Sure. You made Rudy starring Macklemore. Peter Molyneux's Rudy starring Macklemore.
What a sentence.
What a wild sentence.
Oh,
Deuces, thanks for coming on, man. Holy shit.
that is really good.
JR. I didn't know also didn't know a lot about J.R. Smith, but like the more that I read this controversies page, the more I'm like, man, J.R. Smith is to the NBA what Ezra Miller is to Hollywood right now. Around the world in 80 crimes. It's great. I love it.
Man, yeah. So, man, Todd, for your game, the one thing that you didn't talk about that I can't wait, that I'm excited about for that game, is the fur coat designs, because I feel like as deep as you go into it, there's no subtle fur coat.
No.
And the best fur coats are the ones that are the most ridiculously flashy.
Yeah. As you prestige, your coat gets more flashy.
Right, so I'm excited about that. And obviously, like I said, the one thing about Roller Coaster Tycoon that I love is the subtle thing is that like you really do become a tyrant, because I don't know if y'all remember, but like for me, when it used to rain, I used to hike up the umbrella prices because I knew that everybody was going to buy it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thinking about the donuts and everything, but then also I think about it like how like John Madden, like his sound bites in John Madden, the boom. So like just imagine the sound bites in this game as you are being this tycoon of donuts and everything like that. And then of course, I mean, it's one Simone Biles.
She's incredible.
Anytime you give her incredible, but like the fact that like again somebody said it's like the Black Widow storyline, like you're building up this the fight everybody, like I'm just loving that whole open world of that. So yeah, I'm excited. I want all of these games.
Hell yeah. All right, well that brings us to decision time. I have communed with the execs who have communed with the old gods, and they've sent me here with the magic checkbook of funding. And I've come to a decision. And so we're going to start from the bottom. Kyle, unfortunately, we could not secure the licensing for Tim Hortons. Turns out it belongs to a company and not the estate of Tim Horton. Those are different licenses. So, bummer. But
unfortunate.
Great idea. Really enjoyed what you brought here. Andrew, so we really wanted it to be your game. I personally really wanted it to be your game. And then somebody was like, hey, have you ever played Detroit Become Human? And I was like, you're right. That is the same game. So unfortunately, we're not going to do that either, which brings it down to Joe Burrow's Over the Rhine, Time to Shine.
Yeah, I think that feels right.
Nope.
I think you got it.
Yeah, that is it. That is it.
Oh, okay.
Over the Rhine, Time to Shine.
And then J.R. Smith's Hennessy Hoorah. And Todd, you're not even in the running today. Deuces is absolutely the winner of this.
I've already left. I packed up my briefcase and left.
Yeah. Todd's off to hoorah his own Hennessy. Deuces, you are our winner today on Debate This. Congratulations.
Yes. So good. I'm excited.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us here today. So thanks for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. Deuces, thank you again so much for coming on the show. If the people want to hear more from you, what are you working on? Where should they go? How can they hear more of your stuff?
Well, first things first, I've had way too much fun on this podcast today. So you guys feel free to bring me back at any given time. I definitely would like to continue to be, to help out with this. But so you can find me at all social media. It's Young_Deuces, spelled DEUCES, the correct way. I know some people spell it with the UES. I don't know why.
What monster?
I don't like that.
I know, and people often spell my name wrong and they threw the U before the E, and I'm like, why? So, but the big thing that I'm working on and that me and my team is working on, we're doing what's called the Black Geek documentary. It's a documentary about geek culture from the Black perspective. It's one of the things that we want to tell this story because it's still some misconceptions even about geek culture. But when people think about Black Geek, everybody firstly goes towards Steve Urkel. And though we love Steve Urkel, there's a lot of people that's more like us. There's not like the butt of the jokes, that's not the corny guy or anything like that. And so we want to tell that story. So what we're doing is we're going convention to convention for a whole year. We're talking to, it's not celebrity driven with this documentary. We're talking to the con goers. We're talking to the cosplayer. We're talking to people that love this culture and just talking about that experience. And so if you go to theblackgeekdocumentary.com, we are crowdfunding it. So I've been telling everybody that there's two ways to support us heavily. Well, obviously, we have our financial aspect. We have the GoFundMe. We have, our Patreon. All the funds from our Patreon and the GoFundMe, and also from the merch that we sell on our website is going towards the documentary. But just as important as financially supporting us, retweeting, commenting when you see the trailer, liking it, using the hashtag Black Geek Documentary. All of that is very important because I found that the more that we talk about it and the more that we get it out there, the more people understand and start saying, hey, I like this. And I want to be a part of the reporters of the culture. I tell people all the time, we have so many people within this culture in general, nerd culture, who's doing it and saying they want to be in it. But I want to be the person that reports on it, where it's like if there's a cosplayer, a top cosplayer, and they kill it at a con with their cosplay, I want to be the place that they go to talk about that experience and celebrate it. Kind of like
awesome. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our journey, and that's what we're working on right now. We filmed at DreamCon. We filmed at C2E2. The next convention that we're going to be at is Atlanta. It's Anime Week in Atlanta. Cool. And we're just going convention to convention, filming, talking with people, and trying to get that out there. So yeah, that's theblackgeekdocumentary.com. And then you can find our podcast at Geekset Podcast everywhere. Again, we're the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. We talk about a lot of this same stuff, but we bring that barbershop flair to it. And yeah, we talk about like all the fandoms and things that we love, and then we interview people to give them that opportunity to geek out. One of my favorite things to do is getting a A-list celeb, where especially when they're like got a lot of stuff going on, and then people is like, oh, they're going to talk about this, and like, no, we're just going to talk about how much we love like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or we're going to talk about like, oh, I really love Tim Drake over Damian Wayne. Like that's the conversations that we have, because everybody has a little bit of geek in them. Everybody loves either Star Wars or Star Trek, or Marvel or DC, or Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. So it's like, let's talk about that. And so that's what we do on our podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I really have come to love Geekset. Deuces and I crossed paths through a Twitter space.
Yeah.
And I've been listening on and off ever since. So definitely check out Geekset if it sounds like something you're interested in. Check out Black Geek Documentary. Deuces, I know you do interviews and stuff on YouTube as well, so check out all of Deuces' stuff. It's definitely worth it. And Deuces is going to hang out with us on the post show for a little while too. So if you are part of our Patreon, you can check that out. And hey, speaking, if you want of... Boy, that was rough.
That was no sentence.
That wasn't words right out of my mouth, baby. Anyway, you want more debate this content, but you just can't wait until 2 Tuesdays from now. Do you love hearing our voices and goofs and crave more for your ear holes? Well, you're in luck, because if you subscribe to our Patreon for just $5, you can unlock the 4th Tuesday. Doing so will let us get nerdy with you in our Patreon Discord, and I should probably rewrite that script.
It's the 5th Tuesday now.
It's the 5th Tuesday.
Yeah.
So many
And
Tuesdays.
Office Drones is coming back. Office Drones is coming back to Patreon, so.
Yeah, so it'll be back on our Patreon feed the end of September.
Wow. Sweet. Excellent. Wow. Something to look forward to.
I got to write that.
Yeah, you sure do. Something for you to look forward to, and something for you to check out if you do subscribe to the Patreon. So until next time, I am Matt Cole.
I am Kyle, bloodthirsty donut avatar of Mammon Harper.
I'm Todd. Cheesy Fiesta potatoes like Hennessy gives me destructive powers while also making things harder to do. Thomas.
And I'm Andrew, the Timbit of 83 Henderson.
And I am Deuces. Oh man, I botched it. Okay, I am Young Botched This Deuces because I botched that.
Excellent. And we are saying, if you, I fucked up the outro of the show that we've done for 5 years.
Okay, bye everybody.
Boy, what a day.
Swing sets.
We're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.
Ah.